Let's speak to former Bahraini MP Jalal Fayrouz, who joins us via Skype from London. Many thanks for joining us here on Press TV, Mr. Fayrouz. Now, there are almost daily protests that take place in Bahrain against the regime and its lack of democracy over there. How important is it for Bahrainis to continue to hit the streets, even despite the fact that there is very little media coverage of these movements?
Of course, the people of Bahrain have been demonstrating daily and nightly since 4 years and a half, and they have not retracted from their demands. And they have been demanding very legitimate rights, which are very basic for any nation and for any people. They are just asking for democracy. They are just asking for the people's right for electing their government, to have a parliamentary branch of government, and to have a fair judicial system, which is not there. Now you could see how the judicial system in Bahrain is being handled by the royal family, and they are putting much of pressure on the opposition by trying them and putting them behind bars. We are in just 2 weeks away from the final verdict against Sheikh Ali Salman, the prominent figure of the opposition in Bahrain. You wouldn't imagine what will happen in Bahrain just in case a verdict have been put on Sheikh Ali Salman.
Right, now, speaking of Sheikh Ali Salman, for our viewers, walk us through the kind of symbol he has become for this movement in Bahrain.
Of course, he has been a peace-calling politician. He has never ever asked the people to use any force. On the contrary, he has been the engineer for the draft document against the violence, and he has been really keeping the country from going down the drain to the violence, and for that reason the government seems to be wanting some type of violence so that it can crack down more, and it will have some purpose for crashing the peaceful demonstrations. That's why they have put Sheikh Ali Salman away, so that more violence will be there in the streets.
And very quickly, if you can, Mr. Fayrouz, there are many who say that when it comes to the uprising in Bahrain, most of its leaders are either in jail or in detention in Bahrain or in exile. Where does it leave the people who do take to the streets every day? Who is leading them, and who is going to give them direction?
Well, the situation on the ground in Bahrain is that it is self-driven. The people have been very enlightened about their rights. You could see youngsters talking very intellectually. Of course, Bahrain's opposition has hundreds of activists who are meeting and dealing with the situation daily. Even though the prominent figures have been put either behind bar or have been kept outside of Bahrain in exile, but still you could see that the peaceful demonstrations are very organized, and of course the major scholars also have to have their inputs so that the opposition movement goes on without any ease, but also with the peaceful framework.
All right, let's leave it there for now. That's former Bahraini MP Jalal Fayrouz joining us via Skype from London. Mr. Fayrouz, it's always a pleasure talking to you on Press TV.